What is good with the YouTube? It is your boy Sean Rock to the aka Lil Nicky V6. Represent Mandatory Thrive HGBM because every day it is mandatory for us to thrive, and I am back again with another video. But before I start this video, I want to ask y'all to head over to Amazon.com, purchase my first published book, Give Nothing Less Than 300 from the Basement, Mind, Body, and Soul. Great book, great read. It'll make you laugh, make you cry, and teach you a lesson. Link will be in the description. Nevertheless, let's continue to move forward. So in this video, I want to talk about semen retention and how it's a gold mine and how it's impacted my life. So it's been about almost 2.5 years of my masculinity journey. Now, I shared and talked about this in a few videos back in my manhood video. If you haven't watched that, watch that video. But I'm going to talk about it again and how semen retention is a gold mine and how it's been imperative for my growth as a man in the position that I'm in today. So let me just give a backdrop of my life. You know, since I was 12, maybe 13, I was heavy into pornography, heavy into sex, very sexually active. And I participated in both. I can recall times where I would masturbate in the morning, have sex in the afternoon, and then masturbate again. So from ages maybe 12, 13 up into early 20s, and even sometime after my, in my relationships, I was always, ejaculating. So, and to my understanding, I was always tired. I had a lot of energy, but I was always tired, and I was always emotionally, this is a big kicker for me, always emotionally weak. So I was always reactive to everything that happened in life instead of proactive to everything that happened in life. And I believe this was largely due to me always constantly releasing my seed without any real genuine purpose. Now, before I was even in my late 20s, I already had 6 kids. If you know anything about me, you know that I have 6 kids, various different mothers. So I've definitely procreated, but outside of those situations, I was always active and watching porn and different things like that. And for many, many years, I never really obtained anything of real significant in my life. I think the most that I've ever really attained was a studio, some workout equipment, in a car. And do I believe that those were the only things I attained because I was releasing my seed? Because I was orgasming and masturbating? I don't believe it was entirely due to that. Absolutely not. But I do believe that it was a great contributor to it because, working was always difficult for me because I was always tired. Relationships, having a standard in relationships, and standing on my principles and perspectives and having stoicism was always difficult for me. Why? Because I needed to orgasm. I needed to have sex. So because I needed to have sex and I needed to orgasm, I tolerated any type of behavior within the context of relationships, whether those relationships were basically consuming far too much of my time, whether those relationships was consuming far too much of my energy, whether those relationships were just having a negative impact on my life. And once again, I want to say this, that we cannot blame significant others or women for decisions that happen in our life, because we are made as men to be leaders, right? We are made to set the standard, not follow the standard. And that plays again once into a philosophy that I was grossly ingrained in from childhood. I always seen women lead. I always seen women uh, take the initiative. I never understood the side, the man's side. I never seen men really do it on that level. So by nature, I followed women just based on how things were set up in society, on top of the fact that I was weak and
Baby, don't even make a joke like that.
I was weak and constantly masturbating, constantly releasing my seed, constantly pursuing sex, right, over my dreams and aspirations. So, how does semen retention play into all of this? Semen retention helped give me strength to, from a logical perspective, and a psychological perspective, to see past my own desires and my disciplines. My lack of discipline, and it gave me strength to make better decisions when it came to relationships. It's gave me strength to do difficult tasks like work, like um, you know, getting an apartment, like all of these different things that I was unable to obtain in the past, and I think it was due to me releasing my seed. Now, releasing your seed is not just about you just ejaculate. It's about everything that you put into it. Traveling, talking on the phone, um, dialoguing with women. All of these things were things that I did all the time, all day. My priorities were completely out of whack. So, people say sometimes, if you need semen retention to be productive, then you're just weak. Well, I'll just have to say I'm just weak, because I've seen that I've significantly improved my work ethic. Now, I've always been a hard worker. That's not what I'm saying. But being able to withstand past a certain point was just always a challenge to me until I discovered semen retention. Semen retention just gave me that extra energy, that extra push to kind of assimilate in all areas of life instead of being really good at one or two, right? Sometimes I would work out real hard for like a whole year and I was dominating at that. Sometimes I would dominate with work and I was dominating in that. Sometimes I would dominate with rapping, but I could never kind of keep all of these things in place. And I believe that releasing my seed was a huge component to me not being able to really excel. And it's really helped me excel in my life. Will I release from time to time? I mean, that all depends on what's going on, what's the situation, why I'm releasing. But as far as it being a consistent thing in my life, like a weekly or daily thing, absolutely not. I will never go back to that because I've gained too much wisdom, I've gained too much discipline, I've gained too much strength, and I believe that it's a critical tool for men to excel and rebuilding your life, rebuilding your foundation, and finding yourself. So the benefits, it's so many. You'll be more stronger physically, mentally, and spiritually. You'll be more stronger because there's two sides to semen retention. And most people, they only talk about the physical and psychological things of releasing. So what that means is your seed has magnesium, it has all of these different things, right? That you can quickly zinc, you can quickly replace with food, right? Apparently. That's only the physical and the psychological things that you're losing when you releasing your seed. But there's also spiritual elements that you're losing as well. You're losing spiritual power when you're releasing your seed without purpose. Now, if you're releasing in a intimate situation where there's an exchange of love and intimacy and energy that's transferring from a healthy place, then maybe in that situation it can be ideal or optimal. Or are you releasing for the sole purpose of the real genuine reason for you to release, which is procreation? Then that's better. But any reasons outside of that, then if you're trying to rebuild your life, then there's really no reason to release, because you could be keeping that spiritual power, you could be keeping that physical power within yourself to build your situation, right? God has given us this tool. Jesus has given us this tool to ultimately utilize to build up our lives, to build ourselves up to the what's up, to build up ourselves to the most optimal level, right? And Jesus himself, once again, is the holy grail, the standard of semen retention. Why? Because he's never released. He's never released, not one single time. So Jesus is literally the spokesperson for semen retention. He's the greatest example that we'll ever see. So you have the physical benefits, the spiritual benefits. You're going to be more stoic. You're going to be more masculine. You're going to think faster, think sharper, and one of the most important, you're going to be more of a go-getter. You're going to desire, like for the past 3 days, I've worked nonstop, from work to getting off work to after that work, and I'm continuously building, not for vain reasons, not to outdo anyone else, but simply because this is my God-given purpose on this earth, to build, right? To restore, to refine, to create, to dominate within the context of whatever I'm doing, right? To conquer, to dream. So I hope that video helps, man. Remember, dream big, work hard, live great. Don't stop. It's your boy Sean Rock to the, aka Lil Nicky V6. Salute to the gamers. Peace.